Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. This is Alec MG of Reddit's Hex Encounter community, joined today by Bruce Geryk of Wargame
Hey,
Space.
it's
Um,
Rumsfeld here. Hello.
hey, Space Rumsfeld. All right, so you and I
Here.
are finally getting to our long-belated game of
Yes.
Bomber Command, which, a little teaser for those of you out there, this is as much of a electronic warfare game as it is an operational air war game. Um, Lee Bermacomwood has just done a beautiful job of abstraction in this game, of bringing in all sorts of tech developments in a not chromy or cumbersome way. This was kind of his experimentation in a card-driven game mechanics to try and bring in some of these effects. So with that, have just started this scenario. Bruce, you've planned your raids, although we still have to do some
Yes.
on-map setup for the beginning of the game. Did
hmm
you, in your planning, I imagine that you did, figured out when Twilight was going to be before you did your targets. So, did you want to update that information, or are you just going to roll with it?
I think I'll just roll with it.
Okay, so just running through here, I guess section 3. Let's see here. We get Twilight on. Was this Jamie's on space 5? Let's see. I've got all my. Oh, I'm gonna have to roll for my night fighter units that are probably not that aren't always night fighters. The ME-109s and whatnot that are
Mhm.
might be on crew rest. So on each of my starred units, 1 to 2, I get to keep them. Other than that, we don't. So starting here with 301, let's see here. That one goes away. 302, I get to keep. So I'll get rid of 301 here. Goodbye. Okay. Let's see, any other starred units. The next 302 unit, we'll roll for that one. He's gone. Oops, apparently that shortcut is discard a card. Okay. Let's see, and what else? I think we got all the way down here. I've got these two, the 217 and the ME-110. So in
hmm
that order. Okay, I lose the 110, but I keep the 217. I can live with that. Okay, so those are my forces available to me, and they will all stay there until I decide to spawn them. Let's see, we have your targets. That's already been determined.
hmm
So I guess now we are into the weather. Did you want to do good weather or bad weather today?
Um, let's do
Good weather is more
what?
favorable to me.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's. Why don't we
and
just
histo
do? Go ahead.
historically, the Brits did try to aim for fairly cloudy days. If
Right. We can do a bad weather shot here.
All right, so let's see.
Actually, you know what? Do
Hmm,
this. 1, 2, 3, good weather. 4, 5, 6, bad weather.
okay,
So hold on. We got to get some dice. 1d6. 1, 2, 3, good weather. Bad
bad
weather.
weather. Okay, and so you can just determine the order in which you'll pull these. There's a notation here on bad weather. If we flip back, I believe, to the special rule, that we can only get 2 of the truly awful ones with the daggers. I think that's what that is.
Okay. So.
Yeah, no more than 2 bad weather counters with a cross on them. If so, redraw.
Okay. So I am drawing weather chits. Here we go. What have I got there? Heavy cloud -2. That's a dagger.
Yep. Where was that going?
Oh, sorry.
England?
Yeah, that's my mistake here. Let's do this. Reshuffle these. Okay. So my first one. Let me just pull up that one thing 1 second. So I'm going to be pulling for. Right. Oh, actually, it was. I should have said it was 1 to 2 good weather. It was
Yeah,
3 to 6 bad weather. But you know what? It doesn't matter because
it's still
I
bad
rolled
weather.
a 5. I rolled a 5. Okay. All right. So I have to roll the weather for each division, right?
That's correct. So if you look on the global Berlin scenario map, you'll see one
Yeah.
box cloud icon in each division. So you just call
Yeah.
the order that you're
There we go.
doing. Yep. So
Yeah. All right. So this is my. This will be my weather check. Okay, so I'm going to go for, here we are. We're going to go, well, I can see the fourth, so I'm just dropping on the fourth right here. Boom. To cloud -2. All right, then let's see. We'll do, I can do, where is Jess? Where's the third cloud marker? That's right here, I think. Boom.
Yep. Another
Let's
cloudy
see.
day.
It's 2. Then we will find second, which is over here. And then it's a heavy cloud, -2 and a dagger.
Oh, second. That's, well, that's regrettable. Okay.
And let's see here. And then we've got first up here is, whoops, that's a broken cloud. And then seventh down here is a cloud -2. And then I need to draw for England too, right?
You do, correct.
So we're going to go over here and we're going to go to England. That's a cloud -2.
All right. Well, nothing terribly awful.
Have anything that I missed? I think that's it. I did 1, I did 2, I did 3, I did 4.
Nope, that looks good. Okay, so assuming that we got all the weather correct, we will note that the Ruhr Valley, I-7, I-8, and J6 are considered to be in haze, kind of no matter what.
Hmm?
Actually, what's the current weather? Cloud? Yeah.
Current weather in there is cloud.
Okay, yep. And so, oh no, I'm sorry. So cloud is what applies. That's the worst. That's worse than
Than
haze.
haze, yep.
Okay. And so now we'll roll for visibility. Roll 344, just on terms of how good the visibility is tonight. So I'll roll that real quick.
Yep.
Okay, 6. Poor
4.
visibility. I think this is gonna be equally bad for both of us. We'll just go with that.
Yeah.
And then twilight. Okay, so this is one roll a die, and then and add 10. So I'll let you figure out how long your night is.
Roll 1 die and add 10.
Oof.
Yep. 11.
So I'm hoping now for some, tail lit bombers as you guys are streaming back to across the channel. So okay, all right. So there's that. So strictly speaking, you would have that information on your raid preparation. Like your targets would still be set, but you'd kind of
Right.
would have known that. But we'll just go ahead and go with this.
Yeah.
For the people in the stream, we are playing the Berlin scenario, not the downfall scenario. So we have 1 main force and 3 mosquito raids.
Although I can exchange them, right?
Correct. You can still do the exchanges. That's kind of the base composition. In the downfall scenario, there are 2 main forces and a decoy and 5 mosquitoes. It just gets to be pretty silly. And the mosquitoes are small enough that they can also package into the main force without a problem. So. Okay, so the raids have been prepared. I suppose what's left next for us to do is to do the card decks. So
Yes.
this CDG, we each have our own deck, and then we each draw 8 secretly and keep 5, shuffling the remaining 3 into the deck. So if Bruce is watching the stream, you of course can see my hand.
Bruce is not watching the stream.
Okay.
Yes.
That's good. That's good. Okay, so we can each kind of draw our 8 cards here, returning 3 of them. And notionally, oh boy, this is going to be tough. What we're looking for here is for those of you watching the stream, as the German player, my intention here is one, to get the jamming marker as far in my favor, degrade jamming as much as I can. So try and churn and get those cards. I also want to start packing my hand with a couple of cards that will let me have some effect in the second phase of the game, which is the bombing phase of this. So as fun as all of these cards I'm looking at that let me shoot things better, it's kind of, that's my fallback. That's something I'd rather do if I had nothing else to do. So I actually think I'm going to return. I'm going to return a couple of these cards and leave the others. Oops. That one, that one, that one, and that one. Okay, there we go. Just dropping them back in the deck, maybe. Oh, come on.
Now, I'm assuming that because this is set up in the Berlin vassal scenario, that none of the downfall cards are actually in the deck, right?
That's correct. If you look,
that's been cleaned.
Yep, right next to the weather chits, you will find all of the downfall cards in our discard.
I got it. Excellent. So for the players, for the spectators, the Berlin and the downfall scenarios have slightly different decks. There's some cards that are just Berlin, some cards that are just downfall, some cards that are both.
That's right. So we're going to start here, I guess, now on turn 1. Draw cards is skipped on turn 1. We have that from setup. There are no fighters in the air with which to move. And so now we're at scrambling. So this is me. Now, one would assume here that military intelligence is strong enough and the early indications of British bomber activity are strong enough that I know that something's happening tonight. Now, of course, right now I've got no radar returns. There's nothing on the map. These hexes here, starting at B9 and extending up to D4, are the mandrel line. This is essentially, the mandrel was a low-powered jammer, maybe about 12 watts, that was flown off of mosquitoes that were targeted at the Freya. And so the Freya radars were the ones that really constructed the Himmelbelt here. And they were the early warning radars. And so, past this point into England, the Freya didn't have the burn through to actually see anything through these jammers. So this is where they're going to pop out. And I know something's coming. I don't know where. Each one of these sectors, has GCI and fire controllers and a Freya and perhaps a Wurzburg assigned to them to help with this. So really, at this point, my main idea is to get this populated. And so I'm going to start scrambling some stuff. And I just want to make sure that I don't have anything completely disastrous as far as weather goes. Heavy cloud, I think I can live with on these scrambles. What's informing me and the thing that's keeping me a little concerned right now, is the scramble table, which is on the back of the player aid card. I certainly don't want to take anything off in fog. Heavy cloud is equally not great. I'm going to lose some stuff here coming off the runways, but given that all of the second division is in heavy cloud, I think I just can't afford to not do that. So, and then another thing to note here, we'll see that the default fuel states on the field track for the MU-110 at 7, and then the larger bombers and night fighters at 9 to 10. So I'm going to kind of want to put lower gas aircraft initially up there, because they can kind of stay up there indefinitely. They're really just being cycled. There's one fighter at a time or two active in that zone. And so they're always fresh on gas. Versus the other ones, which I'm going to sit and put on the raid beacons, which will have more gas because they're actually loitering. So I guess I'm just going to start scrambling things. Let me start populating here. So let's see. In the fourth, I've got 1, 3, and 2 of the fourth. Let me get those guys going. Zoom in a little bit here for the back of the stream. Okay. So 1, 3, and 2 of the fourth. These are going to be, let's see, I'm going to leave 2 of the fourth right now because it's got a bit more gas than the others. 1 and 3 will do. Okay, so I'm going to get those guys going. And by the sequence of play here, I'm going to create fuel markers for these guys. I'm going to scramble them, mark them with a scramble marker, and then check for losses by scrambling. So I'm going to eventually get these shortcuts memorized under my fingers. But the fuel marker is created with Control P. Okay. The fuel marker is sent to the track with Control Q. Oops, not that Q. Control Q. Okay, there we go. And then the fighters are sent to their bases with B. No, not that's return to base. B and then S for scramble. So let's try that.
Control S for scramble, yeah.
Yep, so Control B. Nope, that's the wrong one.
Yeah. Control S.
Yeah, S will scramble them, but there's a button here to actually send to home base. Control H. Okay, so Control H, Control S. Okay, there we go. So both these guys now are marked with scramble markers at their home base. I will roll for each of them in turn. Looking at this scramble table, I will roll 2 dice. They are currently in cloud, which is the second column, and no DRM unless you want to start dropping things. So I'm going to start by rolling for the third. If you want to drop in a card, just shout at me. So rolling at the third. It's a 5. He's fine. Rolling for the first. It's a 9. That's fine. Okay. So both those guys scramble without any concern. So now I'm looking at the.
But a 9 on the scramble
for cloud.
For cloud, just cloud. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, we're not. Once we get to the north end of this, I'm going to be really hurting, and we're going to be just feeding you some victory points. All right, so let's take a look here then for everything I've got in the third division. All right, so here for the third division, that's this third marker on my row. And again, I've got 3 JU-88s and I got 3 ME-110s. I will kind of identify, I'm just looking here at the sectors I have. I will go ahead and send up all of the 110s because reasons. Let's see, I'll just grab all the 110s. All right, so there's going to be mind your P's and Q's, and then home base and scramble. Okay, so looking back here. Yep, there they all. Where'd the other guy go? Zoom out.
Yeah, both of them.
Okay, up a little bit further south. Okay, so rolling now, I'm going south to north, so rolling for scramble on that aircraft.
Yep.
Okay. 7, that's fine.
Okay.
Now I'm going to the one by marker Betty. Fine.
Yep.
And then the northernmost one. Ooh. All right, so 11 is going to be 1, which simply indicates that there was a fighter that had an accident on takeoff. Maybe it was a midair when he was forming with his wingman. Maybe it was just a fluke coming off the runway. I have lost a fighter. Okay, we'll just mark that. It doesn't impose any, at this point, the formation is not disrupted. It's not given enough to have this be a less combat capable formation.
Right.
They're just there. All right, so that is them. Right, and then let's see here. I think the last thing I want to do is the second. The first and the 7th are far deep enough in where I will see stuff happening before I decide to do anything. So now this is going to be the really painful one in 2nd division. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay. All right, so let's see here. Handful of 110s, got a handful of 109s. That's going to be mostly useful historically as wild boar, or ones that are just looking to hit bombers as they're going over the cities. It's one of these in, yeah, this one's at Jutland. Okay, so I'm certainly going to scramble these two. So PQHS. See, I told you I'd get quick at this. All right, so there's Jutland. He'll work his way down. I do want to get a couple of these other ones up, though. That one can just park there. Let me bring up 1, 3, and Yeah, let me bring up 1-3. I think that should be good. All right. So now launching 1-3. PQHS. All right. Okay, so now I have the 3 scrambling from 2nd Division. These are now rolling on the worst of the columns and again going south to north. So rolling for the first unit. 6. I can deal with 6. 6 is okay.
Yeah, you got it.
Now going to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
3.
Ooh, going. Nice. Very nice.
And now
Very
all
nice.
the way up in Jutland.
Yeah.
Of course, 9.
None.
9. Yeah. All right. So this unit is now depleted. So it suffered a loss, and this, it's just taken so much time to get this guy together that really he's only half effective. Really, it's a depleted unit. So there's a second pirate loss. Okay. While we're here, all of these go to different spots on the fuel track marker. So let me just get these guys. Okay. Fuel is marked, and I think that's it for me for scrambles. On scrambles, single engine fighters can actually move a hex and do not get a scramble marker. However, twin engines are slow enough to climb out that they are marked as such. So now we are at the raids move portion of the turn. So now you are in the driver's seat, and it's really up to you to referee here when things hit areas that I would then know about, i.e. seeing something crossing Himmelbelt or getting flak on them from hitting a city. Of course, at this point, nothing is happening.
Okay. So the only problem is that as you saw on that on the secret sheet, it still tells you where I'm moving.
Was that when you were moving? Was that when you were moving the planning marker, or was that when you were moving the raid marker?
Might not have been. Might not have been. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can do that, because I'll put the.
Yeah. So if you
I'll put
If you dropped a British planning red waypoint in like H2 and then moved it around a little bit, I can tell you whether or not I see anything.
All right. So we're gonna go.
Yep. So I see that. So if you right click on that, I see that as well. So if you right click on that, that might let you.
Clone it. Or hide show?
Hide show. Oh, it's gone. And now I see question mark moves to question mark.
Got it.
So you are on a hidden layer there.
Okay, so now I'm in a hidden layer. Okay, perfect. So what I will do is I will see. Hide show. And then see. Okay, so I can put this out, and now appearing in the mandrel is my first move, right?
You appear from the mandrel, and get that away. Let's see here. I believe on the planning on movement actually is you can go. You move 2 on a move always. They have a constant speed, but you may choose if they move the 2 from the mandrel on this turn, or move 1, like if they had a partial move behind the board.
I see.
Let's double check that real quick. Here we go. Raid movement. That can be, I'm looking at the example on page 8 of the main rules, actually entering on the mandrel space can be that 1 move.
Okay. Or it doesn't have to be then, I guess.
Yeah, it's either on mandrel or 1 away from mandrel.
Okay. All right. Okay, so I can move my my raid here. And as of now, there really shouldn't be, as far as I can tell, let's see here. You could detect me if I were on jamming track, raid detection phase.
So if we look here at the combat, no, not the combat, where are they?
No.
So if you look here at the gameplay British markers, there should be, these would be the ones that you would drop to tell me something has happened. You know, we'll
Yep.
see if I detect them by forcing you to drop a raid marker. But then we have bomb drop, if you're dropping bombs. If you hit Himmelbelt, you'll drop a GCI. If you hit a flak zone, we'll have flak. And then if you hit a city, I can then respond with wild boar. I believe that's generally what we're looking at.
Okay.
But yes, at this point, you certainly haven't hit Himmelbelt yet. So if everything is where you expect it to be, I can go ahead and attempt to detect raids. Which would be very exciting.
Yep. That's it. That's all I got. Everybody is where you would think.
Okay, well, raid detection, roll 8.2 is on the front of the player raid card, and this will be rolling 2 dice, modified by play of cards. And the jamming level currently is 5, based on the start of the scenario. Now let me review my hand real quick, just make sure I don't have anything that I want to play right now. Okay, I do not. Okay, so there'll be a 2d6, and we'll compare it to the jamming level. And
I think I think I'm going to play a card though on you.
Go ahead and drop it near the jamming track. I can see it.
See here. Okay, so we're going to go up to the jamming track, and I'm going to play that card.
Ooh, man, great! More mandrel. Subtract 2 from a single detection roll for this game 1 or 2. Game turn 1 or 2. Awesome, thank you. Yeah. So for those of you listening at home, this is like the Wild West and of electronic warfare. All of this was just starting, and the British had just started to do these things. Where this was a spot jammer. It was hitting specifically the frequency for Freya. If you look in the image of this card, you'll actually see what is a bright spot and then 3 lines going out of the back, and those lines will correspond. One will correspond to the main lobe, the other 2 will correspond to the side lobes of the radar. And so it'll have an angle of bearing on the jammer, but it won't know what's behind it or if anything's coming through it. So I'm going to lose 2 off of this roll. And if I roll less than the jamming level, nothing happens. So here goes nothing. 7 minus 2 is 5. I have matched the jamming level. And so here's what's going to happen. Detect the following raids. Raids infiltrated, and nothing has been infiltrated by a tame boar. And main force raids if the Naxos marker is on the track, and the Naxos card has not been played. So I now know nothing. We can go ahead and discard that. Thank you for the on-cue demonstration of how Lee attempted to streamline out the Chrome from his earlier systems. You know, these all would have, sub-rule 3.582, right? And downtown are in the Burning Blue.
Yes.
But here it's just, a hand of cards, and it's pretty easy to play. Okay, so let's see here. We've done raid detection or lack thereof. There's nothing to tame. Let's just click through here. Raid move, detection, nothing to tame boar. The deployment would be when I would formally assign units as being active in a Himmelbelt zone or on a city patrolling or on a radio beacon ready to be dispatched. None of that is going to happen. Let's see here. So that is going to be skipped. Turn 1 recovery, nobody's landing. Bombing, nobody's bombing. And now end phase. So there will be a number of just general end of turn cleanup actions that happen here, none of which are going to happen. We are now on to game turn 2. Not so bad.
No.
All right. So on this one, you discard whatever you want and draw up to 3. And So this is the churning mechanism that we're going to have. I'm going to discard a few. Now keep in mind here, this is not like it was previously. In setup, you put them back in the deck, and so you would see those again. If you discard a card, it's gone, and there's no reshuffling in this game. So it's just gone. So I'm going to discard some searchlights. I'm going to discard an expert. Boy. So I have a number of cards here that I'm considering. I'm going to have to get rid of one of them because I want to churn through my deck to affect this jamming track.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to throw out the high altitude marking. Okay, so I will now be able to draw up to 3 cards up to my hand limit of 5. 1, 2, 3. All right. Got a good hand there, Bruce?
I think I'm okay. I discarded 2. I discarded
Yeah.
1 and drew 2 because I had 1 that I had played last turn.
Of course.
Now I can play cards to affect the jamming track at any time. Correct?
Absolutely. You're welcome to drop that, or now,
Yeah.
or to just when it would matter. You know, like mini card games. You know, cards in your hand are is a fog of war to me.
Right. So I'm going to just, so that's fine. We will hang out here. Let's get that. Okay, sounds good.
All right. So now we're in fighter's move phase, and so all of my fighters with the scramble marker can move 1 space. Excuse me. Can move 1 space and then remove their marker. So let's first of all use the power of Vassal here to, track which things I've touched.
Okay.
All right, and so I'm going to have, let's see here, starting south to north, this guy's going to start cruising a little bit further in. Get him there, remove the scramble marker. Was it Control, Alt, Control D? Super. This guy's going to hang out here. I'm going to move him off of his airfield, but all right. So we got those movements. Let's see. I'm going to start populating here. Just bringing these guys onto the belt. And so for those of you watching, essentially what this would represent is just continually as they need fresh fighters with fresh gas, a stream of fighters are coming from this field to this patrol hex and then returning. So they'll always stay at exactly the same fuel state because each turn a fresh fighter's gotten on there with exactly the right amount of fuel. So all those guys are there. I actually kind of like this distribution, so I'll just move all these guys off of their air bases. There's a lot of stuff in Hex J3. And it requires a full movement with no scramble marker to transit from Jutland. So that will be that, and movement is complete.
Okay.
And I still know absolutely nothing. At this point, I think I'm going to actually start to spawn some of the larger. Oops. Well, we're not a scramble yet, so scramble. Okay. At this point, I think I'm going to start to spawn some of the longer leg guys that can sit on raid beacons or these fighter beacons to be directed to intercept bomber streams. So let's pick some people down here. What do I have left down here in 4? Again, nothing deeper yet because I don't know where these things are going. Let's see here. 3, 4. Okay, yeah. 217, 9 fuel. Oh, and one thing I missed on the fighter's move step, they all decrement fuel in fighter's move. There we go. Okay. So yeah, I will go ahead and spawn this guy down in the southern zones, PQHS. Let's take a look down here in 3. I'll spawn 2 of them here in 3 to get on their zones.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, those are spawned. And anybody in 2? Let's see, what do I have here in 2? Let's see, 300 and 302 are in good spots, but I get a feeling that those are, those are ME109s, which aren't going to have the gas I want them to have. So let's see, 1 of the second and 2 of the third. Where are those guys? Boy, nowhere useful. There's 2 of the third. Where's 1 of the second? All the way back here. Yeah, okay. I'm going to spawn 1 of the second just to give him time to get the heck up there. Control. Oops, I'm sorry. Control. P, Q, H, S. Okay. So time to start rolling for all these scrambles.
Okay, so let's see here.
I'm starting all the way on the south in the 4th JAG Division.
Okay, go ahead.
Rolling. 5, and this is simply with Cloud, which should be fine. Okay. Let's see. Now I'm looking at hex G7.
G7, okay.
Yep, in 3rd JAG Division. Okay, rolling.
Go.
6, which is fine. This is just Cloud. And now hex H8. One northeast of it.
Got it.
Okay, rolling. Okay, so no issues on those scrambles. Now here in the
H6, you mean not H8?
I'm sorry, of course, H6. Now back in L6. So this is in the awful weather zone. Heavy cloud. Scrambling outside of Castle. So rolling unless you got a surprise for me.
Not at the moment.
Okay. Of course it's a 10. Why wouldn't it be a 10? This is disrupted. And I have lost another fighter. Well, this is going well for you so far.
Yeah, the dice.
Yeah. Well, then this is the weather. You know, the enemy gets a vote.
Right.
It's one thing to remember. Okay, so that was scrambling. All right, now time for you to scooch your raids.
Okay, so I will move on my and I am I'm looking at my raid movement, and what it tells me is that checks the plot knows whether the raids have moved to, if they move through active Himmelbett or area flag hexes or pass over their target city and commence bombing, the British player declares this to his opponent.
Yes, and I will note here that no Himmelbett hex is active. I have not deployed to any of them. So now that being said, boy, could you have gotten to a Himmelbelt hex in that amount of turns? I'm just looking at where the crossings are close. So
I don't think so.
I think the closest you could be right now to say surprise is something like G6 or G5. If you came out to like E5 on your first move and then G5 now. So I might have a nice surprise waiting for me on this detection phase. But yeah, so once you think you're fully aware of your board state, I'll go ahead and move over to the detection step.
Okay, so we're going to do detection step, and I'm going to play some cards.
Over by the jamming track, if you would.
First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do this.
Corona. Let's see here. Well, I mean, you need to do the first thing listed. I mean,
Ah, dirty German.
Limey Brit.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So this is actually, boy, information warfare. It's hopping on the fighter control nets and the bomber control nets and just passing bad info and yelling at each other. Okay. So this now brings us from jamming level 5 to 6. Awesome. Anything else?
Yeah, I actually will. Which is going to be that.
Another mandrill.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so from a single detection roll. Now let me double check here on detection. Roll to detect raids. No raids detected. Detect falling raids. Got it. Okay, so I will make a single roll. I will subtract 2 from it, and now par is 6. Unless there's another card.
I don't believe I have anything that I want to play now.
All right, let me check. Okay, I'm going to play one.
Okay.
You've been using some visual signals that I've got a hand in.
Ah,
So I will add 1 to the detection roll
okay.
in bad weather.
Bad weather. Okay, so you're subtracting a total of 1.
Yep, so subtracting a total of 1, par 6 on 2d6. 7 minus 1 is 6. So again, we're at we're at equals jamming level, and nothing is detected this early in the game.
Okay.
All right. Well, I have a suspicion here that next turn we're just going to have a pile of detections from people crossing, the belt. But okay, tame boar. Nobody's in there. Deployment. So now is the point where I'm going to be deploying my fighters. I can stack fighters on cities or raid beacons if they are there, and not under a scramble marker. Oh, real quickly, I forgot to do this with my earlier fuel for my scrambled units. I'll just get those fuel markers where they're supposed to be. Dun, 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 dun. And 9. Okay, got it. All right, so I can stack on beacons or cities. My Mark Knight fighters and the Himmelbett hexes to intercept, and a number of them will be doing so now. All right. So let's see what we got here. Is it Control G? Yeah, Control G for assign GCI. And this is going to be something where I'll go through my log to update this, but essentially I will freeze the fuel states of all of these units. Control G. So now a lot of the belt is active. Okay, so the belt is active from J2 continuously down presently to G10. And next turn, as I nudge things around, I should be able to fix that.
J2 to G10, got it.
Okay. All right, so that is deployment. Real quickly, let me find all the relevant fuel markers and nudge those off of the fuel track so that I can not be charged for fuel inappropriately. Most of these here were the ME110s. So let's see here. 1-4 is now free. Let's see, 2-1 is now on GCI. 3-1 is on GCI. 4-1 is on GCI. 4-3 is not on GCI yet. 3-3. Actually, I do this. 3-3 is on GCI. All right, so let's double check here. I've assigned 5 fuel markers and 6. Which one have I missed? 2, 4. Is that one that I missed? Find the magic shit. Let me make this a little bit bigger here. All right. So 1, 4, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1. Okay, 1, 3 is the one I need to find. There it is. Okay, got it. All right, so now I've slid those off and I know their fuel states. All right, so that ends deployment. Nobody's recovering. Nobody's bombing.
Nope.
In phase. Again, nothing to do here. All right. So, on to turn 3. Back to the hand.
Yep.
Okay, I've got my new hand.
All right, I'm just checking the thing. All right. Okay. Looks good.
All right, so that is the card phase. Fighters move. Okay. So folks marked under a GCI intercept will keep them. I'm going to do something a little silly here, which is bring this guy back to where I probably should have had him before, but that's fine. I'm going to move him up north. I'm going to take the scramble marker off of this unit. Again, starting south to north as previous. Moving him around H10. So he'll activate that portion, and I'll have that guy on a beacon. That'll be good. All right, so now what am I doing down here in the 3rd division? All of the belts are active, and so really at this point it's where do I put people for beacons? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep 3-2 where he is and remove his marker, and I'm going to move 3-1 up to H5 so he can get onto Betty. Okay. Over here, this Joker is going to lose his scramble marker down here at 1 of the 2. Start tooling his way up. Take him a while to get there. He now moved to K6. And now finally, I can do a whole unit move for the Jutland unit here to I1. Okay. And if I'm not mistaken, that should be all of them. For the rest of you that play the Luftwaffe, there's a handy dandy little button here somewhere, here a fuel status, that gives you every unit you have, where they are, and a corresponding fuel marker, and where it is. So it doesn't give you any statuses, and you might be able to see this too. This is all public info, Bruce. If you look next to the coffee mug, you should see that.
Okay.
And so now,
very nice.
I'll do the very easy thing to do in Vassal and just lasso all these fuel markers, drag them down 1. Done.
Yep.
All right. And
Nice.
go to scrambling. All right. At this point, I don't know anything. So I think everyone's sitting on the ground for a moment. I am going to do this, however. I am going to play a card. We'll keep the jamming track to be the spot we can both look for those. And jamming card in hand. Weather being a fickle beast changes.
Change the weather in one area.
Yep.
Roll one die to determine the area affected.
Okay.
Okie doke.
So let's roll a die. Area 5, which is the 7th, back here in the south, which has cloud. Let's go ahead and get you some other weather here. I'll drop that weather for you, and you are now still cloud. Super.
All right.
All right, well, that was great.
Yeah.
Actually, let me undo that deletion and return him to...
Return him to the...
No, there's not a return to cut button, so I'll just try and drag him.
Interesting.
All right, got him. All right.
Okay.
Okay, raids move. I am now partially hoping to see some GCI markers.
Okay. I move my raids.
And feel free to chaff me out and move a bunch of stuff redundantly so that I can't count your raids.
Okay.
I can see that white waypoint.
Yeah, I saw that. That's why I got rid of it. Okay.
All right. I see no GCI markers.
I'm going to place them in a second. So what I need to do here is so it's going to be the thing about this here is I'm going to go to so I have to place place an appropriate combat marker on the hex for each separate GCI flak and wild boar attack the raid's movement triggers. So it's going to be GCI. So that the whole, yeah. So basically, any, you said we're active from J2?
Oh, let's see here. We are active from J2. That's correct. J1 is not active. Down through G10. I've not yet deployed to H10. So the belt is active in any space adjacent to a GCI marked unit.
So we will put so here we go. So we're going to go on for each separate GCI flak and wild boar. So here we go. So we're going to go markers, and then I'm going to look at markers. Where is GCI? Here it is. Boom. There is a GCI marker here.
G9.
There is also a GCI marker here.
Not there. It would only be in the hex and the GCI hex. So that's not.
Oh yeah. You're right. That's right. Adjacent to. Okay, so this is adjacent to here, and then that's adjacent there, and then I'm going to be adjacent here. That's right. There you go.
So let's see here. G9 and then I4. Okay. Again, for those of you who keep track at home, prior to the development of the bomber stream, the British just kind of let their own pilots pretty much just do their own thing, and bombings would be kind of these arbitrary events that lasted for 5 hours that weren't particularly concentrated. And so this Himmelbett was a beautiful solution, and that anytime a bomber crossed a zone, it got assigned a fighter and would be engaged. So you just saturate the defenses. You put all of your bombers through one zone over the span of an hour, and it's all over with, and they can't respond. So these are the places where that is happening. I've got two of them, one in I4 and one in G9. So it will behoove us now. One, we can flip to the back of the player aid and see the combat table, which we have there. And there's a column for GCI, which is actually a fairly advantageous table. And the 9.7 is the appropriate section of the rule book, which is not a terribly long section for attack resolution. But if we look at, let's see, Tambor and GCI, that's section 9.3. Let's see here. When a radar portion passes through place of GCI, after all combat markers have been placed, resolve GCI attacks for each marker placed. Choose one interceptor marked unit only that is either in or adjacent. The unit may make only if in the same division. Okay. It may be attacked by GCI no more than once per active hex it moves through. So in this case, I'm going to be rolling 2 attacks, with the exception of card play. And one of my units can attack multiple raids, etc. Okay, so let's just start doing this. First of all, let me look at my hand, since I now have some decisions to make. Let's see here. And again, I'll maybe zoom in a little bit here for those of you keeping track at home, and we can figure out. This one is certainly going to come into play. Okay, so I'm going to do this. I am going to start with the lower G9 attack. We're going to resolve that one. Looking there, you'll see I have a card play.
Okay.
Using Y guidance, which will increase this GCI Night Fighter attack roll by 2.
Okay.
Now, you of course can respond with other card play, or you can play 2 flag cards from your hand to negate this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I'm going to go ahead and play. Let's see. Hold on a second. Play 2 flags. Let's try.
Let me verify that before you drop those. I'm pretty sure that's how the cards work.
Yeah, that's the for the people keeping track at home. There's each card has it's like aircraft or electronic warfare, operations or bombing.
Yes.
And you can use the symbols to cancel similar symbols.
Rule 6.2.3. So you may do so if you were just going to burn them anyway.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably not excited about this guy. Kind of lost my opportunity to use it, so I will go there.
Okay.
And I'll use that.
Okay. So this is just being negated through card play. Okay. So no effect.
Discard.
Yep. Which will bring this as a straight roll. So we're on the GCI column, looking at the die roll modifiers. This unit has a strength of 2, being 1/4, the one who's responding. So that's going to be +2. No card play. You will tell me. I believe we can look on the rules on the decoy raid, but we do need to know if this is a decoy for the DRM. Let's see, visibility. So that notwithstanding, we're in poor visibility, so our -1 more, which brings us back to a DRM of 1. Weather modifier. This is another 2 down. So we're at a DRM of -1 now due to weather.
I think it only matters if it's a decoy raid if you get a result, right? Or do I have to reveal that ahead of time?
That will be section 9.7 of the rules. I'm at -1 otherwise. Let's see here. Nothing there in 9.7. The next place I would look for it is in 4 when it's describing decoy raids.
Let's see, types of raids, mosquito raids, gardening, decoy raids. The moment the German player attacks a decoy raid, the British player must admit it is a decoy raid.
So is this a decoy?
Yes.
Okay.
It sure is.
Okay, so this is back now to neutral on the DRM for that +1. Okay, so all that being said, 8 is the total 8 is the total roll, which gives me 1 and inflicts 1 disruption. Shoot. Okay, so go ahead and mark bomber losses on the loss and victory point track. Alternatively, I believe there's a log somewhere if you wanted to use that.
Yeah, I could just put it on there. Here, hold on a second. I gotta go get the markers.
Yep.
So
you're looking at markers and then a loss
track and VPs. Yeah, it's going to be bomber losses.
And pick your favorite.
Yeah.
It's the first one I've seen.
Bomber losses is 1.
Okay. All right, so there's the decoy. And while we're here, not that I am terribly interested, since I know it's the decoy, but I can still put a track marker here. Okay. That way I keep track of this guy once I lose him. All right, so shifting up now to I4. I have 2 units. Oh, wait a minute. One thing that we missed. I'm sorry. Going back to G9. I rolled a 6 on my attack roll. It was a 6.
You rolled an 8.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, you rolled a 6. Yeah, 6. Yeah, you rolled a single 6. Yes, that's correct. Yep. Yeah, that makes a difference.
Which involves defensive fire now.
Right.
Yes, and so you roll a defensive fire attack with 2 dice and can shoot down some more night fighters.
Yeah. So. So what I can do actually is I can also play this card.
Oh, super.
Which is, I assume, legal.
Yes.
So I will delete that.
So not only does this decoy corkscrew away from me, but then he also shoots me. Let's go ahead and get your roll.
Yeah, I'll get a roll here. Where is my roll? I got 2d6.
With no DRM.
Yeah.
Oof. All right, I'll take it. I apologize on the feed for any chewing sounds. My wife dropped off some popcorn, and I cannot resist.
Popcorn.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so where's my guy? Defensive fire. 7 or less is 0 losses.
Yep. Okay. All right.
So nothing happens. This guy goes to the discard.
So now we're up there at I4 at Wilhelmshaven. Do you want to resolve this right now, or do you want 10 minutes to freshen your beverage? And
why don't I freshen my beverage?
Okay, well, this shit, we'll go to mute real quick and go back to the hold music. Everyone join us back in 10 minutes. Hi, everyone. We're back here doing our game of Bomber Command. And as we hop into it, I wanted to discuss real quick the asymmetry of this game, kind of inherent in a lot of these, in the concept of an air operations game or an operational level air game in World War II. Both sides have very different things that they're looking to do. And so, in the previous operational error games that GMT published prior to this in the series, mostly talking about the Burning Blue, Downtown, and say Elusive Victory, although I don't recall the sequence between this and Elusive Victory. One player was the raiding player, one player was the defending player, but they both largely had the same tool sets, or at least they tried to in the system. This one really kind of turned a lot of it around, where you've pretty much done most of your work already.
Yeah.
Planning the raid is the satisfying piece for me when playing the British player. What's your thoughts on that so far?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting that you so for the listeners, you plan the whole raid. I mean, you plan where I know where I'm going to be on each turn. That's not going to change. There's nothing that the German player can do to me to to deflect me or to make me. I mean, I can take losses, but he's not going to shoot down the whole raid. So those counters are going to move where I put them every turn, and the way I was planning it was, when am I going to hit the Himmelbett hexes, and will they be active, and where is he going to be? And it's interesting as the British player to watch those German fighters sort of spool up and take their places in the line and see what the air situation is going to be when I hit. But I know exactly where all these raids are going to be at the end of each turn. And one thing that the German player knows, for example, is that I can take two in the Berlin scenario. The British player gets one main raid and 3 mosquito raids, but he can trade two of the mosquito raids for a decoy raid, which is what I did. And in fact, that's what was discovered, and that obviously by the process of deduction you can determine that there will be one further mosquito raid somewhere out here, which can actually travel with the main force.
And it could be the thing I just found.
Correct. So
now I have to say that the card play element, though, is the thing that keeps the British player engaged at the table. That you're looking to see where I'm going, and then choose your hand and deck management and resolving those effects. You still have decisions turn to turn here, even on the ones that are on rails.
Right. That's the thing that the British player now has to do is sort of cultivate his deck and figure out what cards I'm going to want to have in my hand when I hit my target, and what kind of things I want to have to protect myself, and what the relative mix is, and what kind of cards I want to have in terms of there's there's anticipation in terms of what the German player might be playing against me, and so I want to try to block it. So yeah, there's that whole element as well.
Right. And so we'll hope maybe here in a couple turns then get to the other mini game, if you will, the bombing phase.
The bombing.
Very dynamic between the players. So, all right. So taking a look here, we have the J3 attack, and so let's just take a look there. I have 2 units able to intercept it, a 3 ME-110 unit, or another 3 ME-110 unit. I will choose the northernmost one to be the responding unit. Let me just take a look at my hand real quick. And I will actually... yeah, we'll just do this. We'll just say that this is a fairly loose formation.
Okay.
And this was, historically one thing that would happen is these bomber streams were fairly long things, and if for some reason they were longer than they should have been, the controllers would vector fighters from a fairly long distance away to get to and intercept the bombers. And so in this case, this is an incredibly powerful card here, where when a Night Fighter makes an attack, all GCI units within 3 hexes of the active hex, and the active hex here being I4, may also roll GCI attacks on the raid, ignoring division restrictions. Roll an attack for each separately and add 1 to each attack.
Yeah.
So
that's terrible.
Oh, this is awesome. What are you talking about? This is exactly what I was hoping for.
Right.
But this,
So
oh,
I have to cancel that.
you do. Okay.
I have to. That's
You,
just it's
you already burned 2 flag cards.
right. I did, and I shouldn't have.
So this is the CDG element of this, right?
Right.
Where I
Yes,
chose to
exactly.
resolve the southernmost attack,
Hmm.
thinking that the northern one had juicier targets.
Hmm. Yeah. So do I want to play these?
So
Uh,
the grand total of units that will be attacking, if you do not cancel this, are all 3 from the 3rd division, and 2. No, let me check that. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3. 2 from the 3rd division and both from the 2nd division. So 4 attacks.
right. But if I don't, if I do cancel it, then you only get
The 1 attack.
one
Mm-hmm.
one attack. Yeah, there's just no way I can let that happen.
Okay, you happen to have a handful of those flag cards.
Yeah,
Let's see what you had to give up here.
yeah, they're big.
Mm, yeah, affecting more detection. Oh, and just getting night fighters out. Okay, well, I really wish I could have hit those stragglers, but it
Hmm.
turns out that the concentration was high on those crew, and they kept a tight formation after all.
Mm. Yay. Okay.
All right. Now, who did I say was doing this one? It was the southern one, right? No. No?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll say it's the southern one. All right. So, looking at the DRM on this, this is in heavy cloud -2 GCI. Looking at my DRMs, it's a 3 strength unit, so we're at +3. No card play. This is not a decoy. -1 for visibility. I'm at +2. -2 for weather. I'm at 0, and that's it. Is there anything else that I'm missing?
I don't think so.
All right. Rolling GCI column with no DRM. Okay, that's a 6, which is a womp womp.
Yeah. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to no, I'm not going to do that. Sorry. Never mind.
I was about to say, you only
I
have
was,
1 card.
hmm?
You only have 1 card.
No, I'm not going to do it.
All right. So, that potentially could have been absolutely awful for you with 4 rolls at +1.
Correct. Correct.
Okay, so we can go ahead and pull up those GCI markers, the one there in I4. Oh, let's remind me to, let's see, put a track marker in I4. Okay, and I can flip this one. There we go. Okay. All right, so I have some track markers, and we are done with Raid's move. All right, well, the game is afoot. Now, which way that guy is going? Here's the thing. As far as so far, he's heading northeast or east, but he very well could have turned there in I-4 and is now tacking into the heartland, maybe even going down towards the Ruhr. So there are rules for the British player as far as where they can place legs and how many. It should be, if memory serves, 3 legs inbound and outbound, but you'll incur disruption for doing so, which is fine. It's just the cost of doing business. Okay, detection. Do you have the card that you want to play to hose me on detection this turn?
I don't think so.
Okay, I don't have one either, so we'll just go ahead and roll this straight. Detection roll. Yep, no DRM. I can't even. Apparently, there are
Wow.
bombers being shot at, and the rest of the radar crews are fired.
Yeah, they didn't. Yeah, that's.
Herman Goering would be very displeased at this point.
Oh yes, the heads will roll.
Okay, so no detection on Snake Eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay, Team Bore now. So I can't do this actually. I the excuse me. none of these are detected, and simply by transiting GCI doesn't give me sufficient level of information to infiltrate the raid if memory serves. You place the GCI marker there, and we resolve combat as
Right.
individual fighters get brought over there. But this isn't coordinated effort at this point to get anybody in. And on top of that, I don't have anyone deployed on a beacon at the moment, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to wait for a second turn intercept.
Yeah,
Or
have to be detected, or so it's so Tame Bore is a twin engine in the same hex as a detected raid or bomber stream counter. Twin engine stacked on a radio beacon in an adjacent hex to a detected raid or bomber stream counter. Twin engine unit in the same hex as a city marked with a bombing mark.
And nobody's detected at this point, so this is just
Corrected.
god awful for
Correct.
me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Deployment. So now let me go around, and folks that are in hexes that I want them to be. Okay, let's go here on 2-4. Let's mark him as GCI. And in fact, let's see, what is he? He's 2-4. Let me use my handy dandy sheet here. 2-4 H10 fuel box 8. There we go. And he is now GCI. All right. Use your tools.
Yeah.
All right. Well, 3-4 here is going to go ahead and hop on the beacon. And as long as he's here, he's going to make you rue your decision to have a big enough bomber force to have a radar return be around. So he is there now, deployed on the beacon. Let's see, what else do we have? We're good there. All right. I got to figure out what I'm going to do about 3-2, because conceivably you could have had something tooling around just off of Amsterdam that is the main force that's going to attack in. Although I think, would you have had to have told me if there was a mosquito? Actually, there's no. You tell me on bombing if it's a mosquito.
Right.
Or no, if I try to do tame bore, because I can't keep up.
Right.
All right. So I'm going to keep this.
No, actually, I think when if you attack me, if you attack mosquito raid, I have to tell you.
Is that the case?
Whenever any night fighter unit not flak resolves an attack on a mosquito raid before any cards are played or dice are rolled, the player's player must announce the raid as mosquito raid.
I see. So did I visually spot mosquitoes up there?
No, you didn't see.
Okay. All right. There was a bomber stream. Presumably they're coming out somewhere though, so I will keep these 88s. I'll actually put them on the beacon and hope that they can infiltrate folks going home. We'll see. That may be a terrible idea. Do I want to do the same thing here on Betty or not? Just looking at the 3 in J1, figuring out if I want them on Betty or if I want to move them to deploy them on a beacon further inland. Do you recall the division restrictions on fighter movement or beacon deployment? I don't think there was one. I think there was one on GCI, but
I don't think so. Although I'm not as familiar with the.
Yeah, I had.
Let's
see.
Let's see here. Deployment.
Determine the limits of GCI in weather zones. Just in the map features definition.
Okay.
So there might be further rules further down, but right now we'll go with they can transit.
Yeah. Sounds good.
So potentially, I could bring that guy a little further east to get onto Ludwig instead. Boy, I'm wondering if I actually want that guy. You know what? Okay, I'm going to deploy K6 onto Philip here, seeing if you're going to go in further. I'm going to not deploy 3 and J1. I'm going to bring him a little further into Ludwig. Hopefully not being too late. That guy's not deploying up there. Part of the reason for those of you that are watching that you want to do anything up in the northern extents is the gardening raids the British did to mine all the waterways. There are some very profitable ones in terms of victory points up here. And so you want to, have a token attempt to not have them, just walk all over you. All right. Well, so I think that's my deployment, my deployments for the turn. I don't think there's anything else I want to do. So, oh, who did I just deploy? Nope, I only had the one GCI deployment, so we're good. And I did move the fuel markers. I will definitely scramble next turn. So nobody's landing, no recovery. Do I need to worry about it soon? Nope. And so I got plenty of fuel. No bombing markers were placed on movement, so you aren't dropping any bombs. End phase. All right, I think that's all we got. On to, is this now turn 3? Oh, this was turn 3 end phase. Now moving to turn 4.
Yeah, we're now in turn 4.
All right. Hey, I don't have to discard. Now, of course, you never have to discard, but I was doing so.
Right.
To, okay.
I can only draw 3, right?
That's correct.
Yep.
And I can say I have the hand I have, not the hand I want, but.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Fighter movement. Let's get my forces someplace useful. Okay. This guy's going to move here. This guy's going to move here to J2. That might be that. Let me... I don't have anyone else in the air, so we'll go with that. Nudging the fuel counters. And again, everyone, you'll notice I've offset a number of these. Those are all the ones that are on GCI. And so they're kind of locked in that fuel state. Okay. Scramble. Get your scramble interrupts ready there, Bruce. I'm going to have to now make a call here. At this point, I'm not particularly interested in doing much against that decoy rate since it's not bombing anything. And I just have a lot of opportunities to
take bomber losses. But then also take fighter losses.
Yeah, I mean, I could get some bomber losses, but I could also get some fire losses. So, and as far as I know, this guy is going as far as Luxembourg and turning around. So, let me not worry about that yet. Let me take a look in here by I4. Now, where the heck is this guy going? This is the problem of having, one data point. Velocity is a vector, right? Direction and magnitude, and I have no idea what the direction is. I know it's 2. I don't know where. So, I'm going to scramble everything I've got left in 2 and 1 in JG5 for the moment. Let me do that. So, oh, interesting. Where are these guys in 2? 2 and 3 of 300. Where are those guys out of? There's right there. Oh yeah, I want to scramble those. Okay, so let's scramble all of you. P, Q, H, S. All right, so I've got those 3 scrambled. And I wanted to do 1 and 2 in JG5 in the 1st division. All right. Now, those of you know I did mark some single engine fighters with scramble markers. They, of course, do not get scramble markers, but they will help me find them. So, let me just mark all the moves. Okay. Do I want to scramble anything else? Let me look down here. I could scramble 1-300. Although, what can I do with single engine? Like that's then the thing. With a single engine unit like 1-300 is, I don't think he can stack on a beacon, can he? Let me take a look at deployments. Well, maybe I can. Roll 9.3. That's actually Himmelbolt. Doesn't say I can't, but then again, he's not going to be doing Himmelbolt. He's in the wrong division. So, could I put him on a beacon? That's then the question. Further, oh, here we go. 7.3 deployment. Well, for the moment, let's do it. And if we stumble across that saying I can't, then we'll not.
Okay.
So I'll scramble one. Oops, not that. 1-300.
Okay.
And I'll have hopefully one more data point on that guy here in a minute. What on earth am I doing with this guy? I'm going to scramble 2, 5, and the rest of what I got in 2. No, never mind. No, I'm not. I don't have him. I'm sorry, 3, 5. Q address. Okay, so I've got a whole bunch of people now scrambled. Let me. I'm gonna have to roll I'm gonna have to roll takeoffs on these guys, and I'm gonna have to move the single engine fighters 1 hex. So again, starting south to north, it looks like I'm in hex I9 here, which is in cloud weather.
Let's see where's the I9?
I9 by Beacon.
Got it. Yep, I see it.
Yep.
Yep.
So scramble cloud -2 for weather. I'm sorry, +2, -2. No, it's just card play. I'm sorry. I'm on the cloud column and card play. So rolling on I9. 6 is fine.
You're okay.
And this, I keep him there. Okay. Next, I've got, let's see, H6. Does that look like our next one? Did that guy really
H6. You're looking at.
Did I mark that guy with the wrong? No, yep, I did just scramble that guy. No, I did. I marked him with the wrong marker.
Yep.
I meant to deploy him somehow.
Okay.
Let me get that right. Apologies.
J5, I think, will be you.
Yeah. H. Did I go as far back as J? Or far up? There we go. Yeah, J5. Okay. So this is in the awful weather, right? Okay. Yep, heavy cloud, awful weather. So bad column. Any card play?
No.
Okay. Gonna let the weather do it. 2.
There you go.
I'll take that. Okay. So he loses his scramble marker. And goes 1 hex. Maybe he heads towards Hanover, question mark? We're going to say Hanover, question mark. That's what we're going to do. Okay. Next is J4.
Okay, stop.
Okay, stopping. You have a card for that guy?
That's second Yag division. Oh, but I can't play it on heavy cloud.
Okay. I've got others that are not as bad. So you keep that in your pocket.
Yeah.
Okay, so J4.
Yep.
6. Whew, okay.
Hmm.
Scared me. Okay, so that guy loses his scramble marker and can nudge 1. Again, assuming that I can put these guys on beacons. Wait. Let me just take a look at that real quick because
Sure.
just historically, for those of you that are noting here, single engine fighters, since they had no gas tank whatsoever compared to the larger aircraft, were really typically used as point defenses of cities and just hitting the bombers while they were going over. They were not really used to infiltrate the bomber streams in much significant way. Yeah, okay, so that is correct. So twin engine units 941 may infiltrate the bomber stream. Not this guy. Now, if he is stacked, he may respond late to a wild boar attack. Let me take a look then on wild boar. Wild boar reaction. Yeah, a night fighter unit stacked on a radio beacon or city in an adjacent hex may react, moving to the late with the late column. So, you know what? Actually, maybe I like him there at Bremen in case you're doing a shallow raid. No, no, he's going here. All right. Okay. What else do we have? M4. Do you see that as our next one?
Yes.
Let's do M4. Okay, this is only broken cloud, so this is actually the most favorable of the columns on M4. Standing by for your...
No cards.
Okay, M4, favorable column. 5, I'll take it. Basically, I need boxcars on this to screw this up. So M4 is fine, and he maintains under the scramble marker. N3, November 3, also fine. Mike 3, again, if you want to hop into the card, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, Mike 3 is fine as well. So, I don't, and then 2, 3 up in a hex J1 is also scrambling. This is also in very bad weather.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, scrambling him. Ooh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh. All right. So, could have been a lot worse. We'll take it.
Yeah, could have been.
Yep. All right. So, got more bombers in the air. I've got more fuel to spot. This is one of the things that actually worked out a lot better in the physical edition. The size of the fuel chits are different between the single engine and twin engines.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll work. 3, 3, 3, 3. Okay. I do have to recommend, for those of you playing physically, there's a lot of good things on Board Game Geek of fuel logs and things that kind of help make things easy to track. All right, so we've scrambled. Raids move. Looking at you.
Raids move. Yeah.
So we're going to have another GTI marker in I4. This thing's got to be 3 hexes long. I'm just waiting for the bomb drop marker somewhere.
Yeah. That.
Stand by. Did we resolve flak in I4?
Oh, we did not. No, we didn't do flak. Yes, correct.
Yeah, so those of you will note here, I4 is one of the very few hexes in the game to actually have an area flak. Do we resolve flak on a 0? I would think so. Let's see here. Flak. Yeah, it would be +0 for flak strength.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be the thing resolved last. And largely it would just inflict disruption. So let's just double check our flak procedure. Make sure this is just 1 roll and not 3. But, okay, so that's 9.6. All right, area flak. It's either going to be a 0 or a 1. Place a flak combat marker and resolve after all other combat. Only attack one raid, roll for flak, using the flak columns. There are 3 columns. Okay, and you read across. So this is 1 roll reading across with appropriate DRM. So
okay, here's a die for you. Card for you.
Okay. Did you have that last turn?
Yes.
Okay.
I've been saving this for pretty much. That's
Reduce a single flak attack roll by 2. Okay. And so the way I read that, it looks like you might be able to play it even afterwards. Cool. So again, more jamming. This one largely being aimed at the search radars that would be driving that would be helping aim the flag. Okay, so that's going to be -2 for card play. So I'm at 0. -2 for cards is -2. -1 for visibility is -3. -2 for weather is -5. This is going to go great. Okay, 2d6 -5.
okay.
4, I don't think is going to do it. Nope.
Nope.
Okay. Ineffectual area flag. But we did remember. All right, so turn 4 markers to include flag.
Okay. All right, I have moved raids.
Okay. Now the bomber streams are 3 long.
They're the yeah. Well, they're the head and then 2 more.
Right.
Right.
Which would mean that there would still be some portion of the raid in I4.
Correct, Amundo.
Okay. Got it.
So there's going to be. So we're going to have. So I've got to put. So I've got to put that there.
Okay. Aha. Ooh. Hamburg? All right.
Hang on, we're not done. Oops, not there.
Ah.
I think that's it there.
Okay.
Oops. Oops. I made a mistake here. Nothing that can't be fixed, but.
Okay, we got a moment. I'm going to review the rules on Wild Boar real quick, so no rush. Since your targets are fairly shallow and I was hemming a little bit.
Okay. All right. I just moved one thing one hex wrong, but it doesn't
Okay.
change anything that you see.
Excellent. Let me just drop a. There will be a wild boar here,
Okay.
since there is a fighter in that hex that can respond. He'll be on the late column since he's not stacked on the city waiting. This one in K4 is not eligible for wild boar reaction. He's not stacked, ready to go. Neither is J2. Okay, our friends at G9 are not still transiting. Oh, they are transiting, I see, but I have no further information on them. They're not bombing Aachen or anything like that. So, okay, well, that is what it is. Oh, I had one unit that, if you would pause my indulgence at I9, that is
Yeah.
marked with a scramble marker. That should not be.
Sure. Do it.
And I think I still wanted him near Ida, so we'll just
Yeah.
leave him there. Okay.
Sure.
All right. So back to the action.
Yeah.
No other wild boar reaction, which would happen before any combat. Let's start south to north again. I'd like to resolve G9 GCI combat against your decoy.
Okay.
Oh, interesting. And I'm going to be able to attempt to infiltrate that raid,
Yep.
since it is stacked with a unit on a beacon.
Engine, yeah.
So would that be in and of itself a Tambor sequence? Would I be allowed, or is infiltration? Let's see here. Oh yeah. Yes, so it looks like I do get to drop a Tambor marker here and attempt a Tambor. You know, attempt infiltration. So we'll do that as well. Oh, actually, no, I'm sorry. That just happened. There's not a marker for Tambor. Got it. Okay. All right. So in G9, GCI combat from the GCI unit in Hex. The card play for me is non-existent. Anything for
Nothing
you?
for me.
Okay.
Nope.
So we'll go ahead and resolve combat here against that on the GCI column from the eligible unit. Night Fighter strength is 2, weather is -2, no cards, it's a decoy, so we're at +1. So we're +1 on this. Is there anything I'm missing there? Oh, we had a bunch of card play. No, the card play didn't cancel. What do we have?
No, nothing.
Okay.
Uh,
2, 3.
are we in 4 Jag division?
We are.
Is it Cloud?
Yep, cloud -2.
Yeah.
Okay, so +1? Okay. Not going to do it on a 7. Okay, so nothing there. Go ahead and delete that marker.
Okay.
Let's take a small hiatus. Oh, there's a whole Tambor phase. What am I doing? Yep, no Tambor. Okay, we'll get there. Coming up further north then, let's see here. I have yeah. All right, so I'm going to resolve hex J3 next. And so with the interceptor in his hex. Oh, wait. Yeah. Okay. With the interceptor in his hex with the strength of 3. -2 visible. Oh, I'm sorry. There was a visibility of 1. That's what we had missed earlier. -1. Okay, so 3 for strength, -2 for weather is down to +1, -1 for visibility is down to 0. So this is going to be a 0 pending any card play in hex J3.
Okay, no card play.
Okay, no card play for me either, so we'll just roll that straight. 6, really? Okay. So nothing there on that intercept. Delete that marker. We'll now go to flak. This is even going to be even worse. Yeah, I could roll high. You know, this is I can get lucky a little bit. Um, 0 for strength, -1 for visibility, -2 for weather. So we're at -3 here. Yes, because you had that card earlier. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so -3 on flak. Ooh, I'll take that.
Oof.
11 -3 is 8. Going across the 8 column here. There's 1 flak loss to that bomber stream.
Mm-hmm.
1 flak damage and 1 flak disruption.
2 flag disrupts, right?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so we got a mark.
And this is when you go to your off-board sheet to just mark the status of the raid. Although we will track losses.
Yeah, so raid tally sheet. So disruptions. Got disrupt value. Bomber losses. 1.
While he's doing this math, for those of you listening, in this case, the flak did 1 outright loss. It just blew out a bomber from the sky. But furthermore, there's a disruption. The stream is a little bit less coherent, and I'm trying to just pile on disruptions to this bomber stream as it approaches its target, so it's got less effective firepower on target.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, there's going to be a flak damage marker, and that there's, this is for the non-integer kill, right? That there is some amount of damage happening to the raid, which is going to make it a little bit easier for my fighters to find someone limping along to kill them. So.
Yep. Okay. All right, that's that.
Okay. So that is going to, let's see there. So that's going to resolve the flag combat. Delete. Did you want to track 1 raid loss on the loss track on board, or you got it over on the tally sheet?
I got it on the flat.
Okay,
on the
that's
sheet.
fine. That's fine. Okay. While we're here, let me clone my track markers before I forget things. All right. So that was the combat in J3. We're now going to resolve combat in I4, starting with the GCI combat. Okay, and those of you watching the stream are seeing me pick my card. Sorry, Bruce, these guys are just having problems keeping it together.
Okay, see if I got anything that I want to do. This is for flak?
No, this is Strain Bombers. This is me calling in Man God in the World onto this bomber stream from GCI.
Sorry. Resolve a flak attack from any city or so of your choice against a
is this the flak one? Okay,
yeah,
I'm sorry. Disregard. I was thinking
not detect.
I was thinking I had a redraw of my earlier card. All right, that was bigger of a womp womp. Although, stand by. You know what? That wouldn't be so bad.
Well, it's not detected, though.
It's not detected. Okay, I'll have to wait till I detect this guy. All right, disregard. All right, so in that case, GCI from hex the unit in hex I5 is responding. So still a 3-step unit. So is going to be responding pending any card play. This is going to be 3 for strength, -1 for visibility, -2 for weather. Brings us down to 0 on our DRM. Any card play for this GCI?
Yeah. This is the guy in I5?
Correct. I4 and I5.
Let's deplete him.
Oh, come on. All right, fine. Where was that card? Oh, there it is.
Corona controllers.
I got it. delete, deplete a single. Cannot be. It's Corona just jacking with my command and control here.
Mm-hmm.
Why haven't they taken off? You told us they were fine. Okay, so that's going to be 2 then on my strength. So 2 minus
Yep.
1 for visibility is 1, minus 2 for weather is -1. Anything else you'd like to do to me?
That's it.
All right, let's go with -1 then. 2d6. 8 minus 1 is 7, which is nothing. Okay. So good try, lads. The dice will be with us eventually. Flak, again, is going to be -3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. -3, no cards. And
yeah.
Okay. We have bomb drop markers on the cities. The way that these are written is that they do not trigger. Oh boy. So they don't trigger the bomb phase yet. We'll do that at the end of next turn.
Well, yeah. What I would suggest is that we get we finish. I'm going to have to go here soon, so I think it would be convenient to get us to a point where we're going to be close to opening next time with the bomb phase. That'll be exciting.
Yeah, let's wrap up this turn, and then we'll I guess maybe as far as we can to turn 5, and we'll wrap it up. We will have some wild boar. So here's the thing: they started at I4, and then it split, and something went through, and something with a tail went through Roulette. Something's still there. So I'm thinking that's the main force. I've got mosquitoes hitting I5. I'll take a swing at them here with these night fighters doing wild boar, and they're coming late because they're not stacked on the city. So there's a wild boar late column. And so if we're resolving this in hex kilo 5, +2 for night fighters, any card play that we end up doing, -1 for visibility, this is -2 for weather, so we're at -1 pending anything you choose to do with cards.
Okay. This is a knife. Yep, that's it.
Okay, so -1 wild boar late. Ooh.
Wow.
Okay, wow. There's a 6 on that, so we're going to have. And there will be a flak from the city, I believe. The city has a printed flak value of 1.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
okay.
Sure does.
So let's remember to do that. That D incurs 1 disruption on that raid, which may not matter for mosquito raids. I don't recall, but you do lose a mosquito.
It's a 10, right?
Yes, modified 10.
Modified 10. So combat. So on the wild boar late, it is 1 and a disruption.
Right. And we'll have to if this is mosquito, which you would tell me since I attacked it.
You attacked it, the mosquito, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So there's a chance that actually mosquitoes are harder to kill. So there's a chance when we go to resolve victory points that I ended up not killing as many as I thought I did.
So we're going to go to this raid, and we'll go.
You do get defensive fire on this.
Oh, yes, I do. Oh, yes, I do. And it's going to be, additionally, my last card, that's that card.
You know, it stands. Okay, yeah. Let's see, rear gunner at 3. Yep.
So, let's just do that. But it doesn't do me any good, does it?
With an 8. 1 night fighter.
1.
Okay. Before we go too much further and forget this effect, the way that we would have resolved, flak would have gone first, and I can hope that flak would have caused some damage here, which I could use as essentially a 1 DRM on my roll for attack. So let's roll that flak attack. This flak attack would be 1 for the printed flak value of the city, -1 for visibility, -2 for weather. So it's -2 pending card play on flak in the city.
No cards from me.
All right.
Wow.
Okay. That would be
9.
Oh God, 222.
222 straight across.
Yeah. Let me just verify flak and cities while we're doing this.
Yeah.
Now I kind of feel bad.
Yeah.
Let's see here, flak. Yep, printed in the city.
Yeah,
City
wow.
flag attacks the city by placing a bomb drop marker. Yep. Okay, so that's 222. So I would have spent both markers.
Hmm.
um,
Yeah.
so which would have brought us, what did we have on my wild board late? That was a modified 9, and so it would have been a modified 11. Same thing.
Yeah.
So don't worry about keeping the markers, but you do get 2 more disruption, 2 more bomber losses, and same result on the wild board.
So I get so in addition to what I just marked, I get 2 more and 2 more.
Yes, 2 more disruption, 2 more kills.
Okay, so I'm going to go
Just
here,
that
retaliate.
if you just mark that, that's what you get. There is no change to wild boar from flak.
Got it. Got it. Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so that is raid movement. Raid detection. Hey, detection. How about that? I got to detect these things. there's no way around it at this point. Okay. So turn your attention to the jamming track, boys and girls. We will do Flensburg,
Mm-hmm.
which increases a single detection roll by 1.
Mm-hmm.
Anything for you?
Nope.
Okay, so detection roll +1 for card play.
Mm-hmm.
No other DRM. Hey, there we
There you
go.
go.
All right, so modified
Air picture is
10. Air
clarified.
picture is clarified. So I see everything.
So that means the decoy raid comes off the map, right?
I still know where it is, right?
I mean, it just I've been playing this wrong. Let's see what it is. So if the air picture is clarified, detected main force and decoy raids, place bomber. Okay, place bombers in the Berlin scenario. The Berlin scenario, the first main force. In the Berlin.
Yeah, no, you have to account for it the entire game until you land it.
So what about and the mosquito? Detected main force and detected. So if the roll is greater than the jamming level, all raids are detected. Place raid counters on the map. In addition, okay, so I have to place my raid. So I have to place the guy that's bombing Hanover, which you know is a mosquito.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I would see him as a singleton, so I'd know he's mosquito, and you told me he was mosquito.
Right, because you attacked him. So that's going to go. So I need my markers. So we're going to go. So here is a raid. Here is a bomber stream.
Yes, of course.
And then here is a raid. There's a bomber stream. There's a bomber stream.
Okay, and let's play this. The one note on decoys for plotting, those of you looking to play this game at home, if you look at rule 434, decoy raids cannot be plotted to enter or pass through a hex containing a city.
Oh, they cannot?
That's correct. They're just kind of fainting without actually going over populated areas or getting significant. So like you could, no, I guess Luxembourg is actually listed there as a city, isn't it? You could like loop around to the south with that and just pull right back out. But
okay, that's a mistake. Okay, that's a
yep, nope, that's fine.
problem.
Just
All right.
play it as played, right?
Play this, play. That's fine. Okay. I never knew that. I thought the whole point was the. Oh gosh, I guess I didn't read that well. All right, that's fine.
Oh, did we? And I missed the flak then in I8, didn't I?
Yes, flak and I8.
And well, it's fine. There was no one to respond to it, but the GCI and H8 as well. So let's do that.
Yeah.
All right, so control duplicate. Oops, copy. All right, so we'll just get those going. Okay, and then we'll just resolve that flag real quick. Printed value of 1. Hey, Ruhr Valley. So 1, -1 for visibility, -2 for weather. That's -2. Unless you want to do card play on that flak attack on the decoy.
Nope.
Oh. Okay. 10. Modified 10. So 2/2/2.
Okay. Let's see. Tally sheet 2/2/2.
And K5 with the mosquitoes, right?
Pardon?
And K5 has the mosquitoes.
Scrolling up. K5. Yes, that's mosquitoes.
Okay. And again, for those of you doing your own, in the K5 bombing, mosquitoes don't actually have their own whole bombing phase or segment. They simply score the points that are appropriate for hitting that city with a mosquito. And I forget where the table is on that, but he has got his VP just for getting there.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So, well, that's illuminating. I now have a direction of travel for that, and of course the target. So it's Hamburg, and then a distraction there down in by the Ruhr. So things are detected, which means Tambor. I can actually do that now. And this is really where the money is for the Germans. This is what the Luftwaffe was trying to do. Is they were trying to get bombers actually then into the stream and just co-flowing, flying with the bombers as they were going, and just racking up kills as they went. So well, since I'm going to lose these detection counters, really, I would think that this card only applies now in the detection phase. Did I get a flak attack in K3? I did, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Okay. I'll split the difference with you on the rules error on I8 and not hit that guy. But I will play Strain Bombers now before we get too much further into getting your main force with one of these. So this is flak attack as if it were getting a city flak in I4. So that's +2 for that, -1 for visibility, -2 for weather. So at -1 for flak. Okay. Oh.
Jeez.
I have to say, this is karma, because in my victory lost game, I roll ones 5 times out of 6. So, got an opponent there that can vouch for that. Okay, so what do we say? This was -2. No, -1, I'm sorry. -1, so 10 on the DRM.
2/2/2.
Yep. So that's regrettable. The tail end of this formation drifted over populated area.
Okay.
All right, this is all good news for me, folks. I mean, again, the two bomber kills I can take or leave. To be honest with you, like I'll take the VP for it, honestly. But this the disruptions that I'm really counting for here, is to make the final bombing less effective. Okay, so we'll discard that, and now let's just see if I have anyone in the neighborhood eligible for Tambor. Looking up here by K3 at this bomber, I actually have nobody on a beacon near your main force. So poop. So that doesn't happen. Looking down here by your decoy force, I can get a guy. I can attempt to infiltrate someone in on your decoy in hex Golf 9.
Okay.
Okay. So looking at, there we go, on the front side of the play aid, Tambor infiltration. Let's see, it's rolling 2 dice. If you'll note, I had done. Oh no, that was on detection. Okay. Making sure I have no other cards I want to play. I don't. Okay. So, -2 for weather. -1 for visibility, so -3. I am on a beacon. So this is just -3. Since we're not playing with the wind rules. Ugh. And infiltration value is currently 7. Any card play?
Nope.
5. So I rolled less than the infiltration value. It does not infiltrate.
Okay.
Good job there, ME110. Good job. Okay, so that gets us through Tambor. Into deployment. Now I can see if I can fix any of this. So now seeing where that rate is going, I'm thinking it doesn't swing south. Or maybe it does. I'm just trying to figure out if I get this guy. Well, it's not bombing anything.
Right.
Okay, so I don't deploy an I-9. Let's see what else I have here. This is just killing me. I don't deploy in K4. Or maybe I do, and I get a late. I'm going to get a late regardless. So, yeah, so I will not deploy in K4. I will not deploy in K5. You'll go north. I will deploy, I don't know how you're getting back out, so I will deploy here in I5 to Point Ludwig. For all I know, you're just doubling right back on yourself. I2 is now going to go GCI, so 4-3 is going to get a GCI marker. In case you go the other way. There is 4-3. Type of unit is that?
4th and JG3 is and J2.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I've got a field for it. Oh, it took him a while to get to where he's going. That's what it is. Here it is. Okay, he's finally there. All right. That's right. He had a long way to go. All right, so I think those are my deployments. I'm just looking a little bit in my backfield to see if any of the folks I scrambled back there can do anything interesting. Not yet. Okay. So those are my deployments for turn 4. Nobody's recovering. Nobody's landing yet. I should start thinking about it here. You notice I've got 3 turns left on a couple of these guys. So, although to be fair, most of them are they're all my single engine guys. So, bombing. Okay. So no bombing happens yet since we're on the front face of that marker, and we will flip those over at this next phase here on end phase. So, okay. So now in end phase, we actually will flip over your bombing marker for the main force. I don't, strictly speaking, I don't think...
no, the mosquitoes just get the victory point.
Yeah, so we'll remove that marker. And in K3, I'll let you flip your marker there so that we know that next turn, we're going to actually go into the bombing phase.
There should be a raid marker in K5, right?
There wasn't, but I put a track marker there. It's fine. I know.
Yeah,
I know it's
good.
there.
That's a mosquito I should have put down there.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay. Are we at the end of the turn?
Let me flip over K3 for you there. Okay, so that will be resolved bombing next turn, and we are now on turn 5. So I will defer to you on how far into this turn you want to get.
Why don't we actually? Why don't we just stop here? What I'll do is I'll get the cards, so we can just have our cards. I can only draw 3. I'll do that. 1.
Oh, we're doing cards. Okay.
2.
I think actually
3.
I will get. I'm not going to pitch any cards this time. I'll just draw 2. 1, 2. Okay. So we have cards in hand.
Yep. So right. That'll be the next thing.
Let's each remember to save the current game state.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, with that, that'll conclude the first evening of a bomber command. We will look to pick it up same time tomorrow, and look for a note online about that. And we'll turn 5. We will do some bombing. We will do some more infiltrations, some more shootdowns, and eventually recover some forces here and see who won.
Yep. Sounds good.
All right, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us. And until tomorrow, good night.
Good night.